Begin with a burglary suspect who's killed and a River Oaks security officer hospitalized after a shootout today. Happened around 2:40 this afternoon, just before 3 off San Felipe in the River Oaks neighborhood. Fox 26's Abigail Dye has the story.
It's the last thing you'd expect in this River Oaks neighborhood on a Sunday afternoon.
Because I heard bam, 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 5 shots.
It was bang, bang, a little delay, and then bang, bang.
This crime scene started as a break-in at this home here behind me near San Felipe and Belmead. The homeowner tells me that he was at a baby shower when the unexpected happened.
I wasn't home at that time, and I saw a guy on the camera with the black hoodie, and immediately I called the River Oaks patrols, and I told them the whole story and said, hey, one of them is in the front door, another one's go from back door. Thanks God and thanks River Oaks, they act very fast.
He says he called River Oaks Patrol, and police say a security officer chased that burglary suspect across San Felipe into an alleyway where shots rang out.
Unfortunately, the suspect in that burglary investigation, he was pronounced deceased at the scene, and the security officer with River Oaks is currently recovering from a gunshot wound at this moment.
I went out my back gate and there was a deceased person on the ground. And the police were like, ma'am, go back.
Police say that the officer is at Memorial Hermann after being shot in the arm.
Feeling so sad, and because River Oaks is a very safe neighborhood. And we never had the experience like this. And thanks God the officer is okay.
Now, you heard earlier the homeowner did tell me that he saw 2 people on his security cameras, but Houston police haven't confirmed if they're looking for another suspect at this point, and they haven't identified the deceased suspect. We'll bring you updates as we get them. For Fox 26 News, I'm Abigail.
An 18-year-old man is dead, 15 others. 15 of them are injured after a shooting at a family gathering in southeast Houston. It happened just before 1 this morning on Cherry Hill Street. That's near the South Loop, as this map shows. Fox 26's Jade Fleury spoke with one of the people who was there.
The shooting happened right here at this home behind me, and neighbors tell us that they heard multiple gunshots and saw people running through the streets trying to hide in between houses. We also spoke with a party goer who says that he tried to help the person who died by getting him to an ambulance.
There was a big party going on, and a lot of things went wrong.
What police say began as a family barbecue at a home on Cherry Hill Street turned into a scene of violence. A shooting at a party, leaving 1 person dead and 13 others injured.
There was a big fight, and that led to everything that went on last night.
The witnesses are saying they had an uninvited guest. The uninvited guest was asked to leave. He left. As he was leaving, he began shooting in the area. There was return fire from the residents as well.
Down the street at a Jack in the Box, paramedics treated and transported victims to the hospital. Emergency crews were seen performing CPR, and some teens were even seen being carried away on stretchers. Amid the chaos, one partygoer recalled the shooting and his efforts to help the person who passed.
Whenever the shooting was going on, I didn't really think much of it. I just tried to help some guy that was in front of me who got shot, and we ended up bringing him here to this location, and unfortunately he passed away.
Houston police say that they do have people detained and they are questioning them. They're also asking anybody who attended the party to reach out to their homicide division. Reporting from Southeast Houston, Jade Fleury, Fox 26 News.
A manhunt is underway for the gunman deputies say shot and killed a woman outside of her home in Atascocita.
Fox 26's Jillian Hartman is there, where neighbors say they are stunned by this violence in their neighborhood. Jillian.
Yeah, some neighbors tell me this is really scary and shocking. Tonight, that gunman is still on the run after deputies say he shot and killed a woman outside this home here late last night.
It was very disturbing, very sad, very sad to see that would happen here.
These gunshots woke up a quiet neighborhood street. Harris County authorities say a 39-year-old woman was killed after being shot multiple times outside this home on Upper Lake Drive. A next-door neighbor tells me she heard several gunshots just before 11:30 last night.
All of a sudden I heard this sound that It's a little confusing, but kind of pop, pop, pop. And I was thinking either that's firecrackers, wrong time of year, or it's gunshots.
Seconds after the shooting, another neighbor says she heard a noise outside her house. She says her surveillance cameras caught a man with a gun running through her backyard. The neighbor tells me that man seen on video broke her fence here and went through it, allegedly escaping the scene.
That's very, very frightening. It's very disturbing to think that that can happen in your neighborhood, right? It's always been pretty quiet here.
Investigators say the shooter is a man and believed to have known the victim and had a relation with the victim. Now, as sheriff deputies continue to search for that gunman, homicide detectives are working to find out what led up to this shooting. Reporting live, I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
Well, a longtime Houston photojournalist was recently driving on the Gulf Freeway when she was hit head-on by a wrong-way drunk driver.
And get this, he was already out on bond for another DWI. Fox 26's Randy Wallace has the story in tonight's Breaking Bond.
April 26th, you're on the HOV lane, Gulf Freeway. You're hit head-on by a wrong-way driver.
Yes, I'm headed southbound from work. Shouldn't have been anybody else in that lane going northbound because it's a one-lane, dedicated lane, cement walls on each side. 8 o'clock, I'm headed into that, and all of a sudden there's headlights, and I'm hit head-on.
Serious injuries, serious injuries.
Very serious injuries. Leg broken in 3 places, including the femur. Pins, rods put in. And I can't put weight on this leg for at least 8 weeks, and I'm in intensive physical therapy. I haven't been able to go home. It'll probably be another 2 weeks.
The young man who allegedly hit you, he was out on bond for a DWI. He'd only been out on bond for a couple of weeks.
That just blew me away when I heard that. The officer who came to the hospital to give me her card, the responding officer, said this guy just had another DUI and he just got out jail. He just bonded out of jail.
He's out on another bond right now for the accident.
Yes. Yes. I don't understand. First of all, he gets a DUI. He's out on bond. He hits me. He's out on bond again.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a shame because clearly he's not learning anything and he could go out there and kill someone. Anytime you let somebody out who's irresponsible, I feel like the next one could be much more serious. This one, I'm amazed it wasn't more serious.
You're lucky to be alive.
I feel lucky to be alive. How many people live through this?
A disturbing allegation at a local elementary school. A mother says that her 7-year-old daughter was assaulted by another student inside of a school restroom.
That mom is now speaking out because she claims authorities are not taking the appropriate action to protect her child. Fox 26's Julian Hartman is at Barbara Bush Elementary with the mother's plea for action.
Well, a local mother is demanding action after she says her 7-year-old daughter was sexually assaulted by a classmate inside a restroom here at the Barbara Bush Elementary School.
My once vibrant, straight-A student, full of life, has underwent the most terrifying thing you can think of. As a parent, I never imagined having to worry about my child not being protected at school. 2 weeks ago, she came home. She told me what was going on, that she had been violated by a fellow classmate.
The mom says she reported the incident to the Houston Independent School District, the school's police, and Child Protective Services, but she says nothing has been done.
She went to the principal, nothing happened. She went to the district police department, made a report, nothing happened. She went to CPS to make a report, nothing has happened.
What's even more alarming, the mom says the alleged attacker remains in the same classroom as her daughter and claims there's been more harassment and unwanted physical contact. Now her daughter, she says, is scared to go to school.
How can my child be protected and supported moving forward, and why, as a 7-year-old, she has to sit next to a child who violated her in the most unimaginable way?
Now, I reached out to CPS and the school district, but I'm still waiting to hear back. I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
We are following a disturbing story here tonight. A Houston man is accused of giving his own daughter a fatal dose of fentanyl and then sexually assaulting her friend.
As Abigail Dye tells us, this is one of the first Harris County cases tried under a law that covers fentanyl-related deaths.
This is truly one of the most disturbing cases I've ever reported on.
She was doing everything she could to mend the relationship between her half-brother and Josh, her father.
A man is now charged with murder in the death of his daughter, accused of drugging his daughter and his daughter's friend so he could sexually assault his daughter's friend on Thanksgiving.
You are a vile person. This is a heinous crime.
Our investigation shows that Youngblood gave both his daughter and her friend fentanyl.
This is Joshua Youngblood. He is the man charged in the death of his daughter, Jade Taylor Marie Youngblood, who is only 27 years old.
Josh Youngblood has been charged with murder by fentanyl delivery and aggravated sexual assault.
Investigators say on Thanksgiving Day of 2023, he went over to his daughter's apartment and supplied her and her friends with alcohol and an array of drugs.
While the daughter was gradually dying from fentanyl, Youngblood proceeded to sexually assault his daughter's friend.
Documents also say that an autopsy showed that Jade's cause of death was toxic effects from fentanyl, alprazolam, and ethanol.
And this is something we'll never get back. She'll never see her niece.
A 2023 amendment to the Texas Penal Code makes prosecutors able to charge Youngblood with murder instead of just delivery of fentanyl that could cause death.
Jade loved you, and you took her from us. And for that, I hope you pay with your life.
Some breaking news in Sugar Land this hour. Investigators say that a man was shot by police officers after opening fire near Greatwood Golf Course. This all happening in the area of Greatwood Lake and Forest Lake Drive. That's where we find Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle live at that developing scene. Sherman.
Yeah, good evening, Caroline. Still a very active scene. A lot of officers still here in this neighborhood that doesn't get too many calls like this. So we get out of the shot and you can see a lot of police officers still on the scene. They have their mobile command unit out here. We've seen people with the DA's office also responding. A couple of neighbors come outside every now and then just to see what's going on because it's quite busy tonight. So here's a rundown of what happened according to the chief, Pete Laurie. He said this call came in about 7:40, a shots fired. The officer was able to respond rather quickly, and when they got here, they saw a young white male in his 20s or 30s shooting a gun into the ground. They confronted the suspect, and eventually shots were fired. The suspect was injured. No officers were injured. Again, this happened, like you mentioned, near the golf course, so a lot of people were concerned. We're not sure of where the suspect was shot, but I also spoke with the chief, who said that they were grateful that an officer was able to respond rather quickly. He talks about how big of a difference that made. Take a listen.
That always makes a difference. Our officers are pretty proactive in all neighborhoods patrolling, so we wanted to go ahead and reiterate that the neighborhood is safe at this time. There's no further threat. We do find it very fortunate that someone was close by to respond to that call and locate that subject.
Live in Sugar Land.
So again, we're still waiting to hear a little bit more about that suspect, exactly why he was shooting into the air, and he was injured, and that no officers were injured. We've been told that per regular procedure, these officers will be placed on administrative leave. As soon as we get more information about the suspect in custody, we'll let you know. Reporting from Sugar Land, Sherman DeSalle, Fox 26 News.
Former NFL player Kevin Ware has pleaded guilty to the murder of his girlfriend. Ware has admitted he killed Taylor Pomanski using a knife, striking her with a blunt object, and then strangling her. This happened back in April of 2021. Her remains were found in the Spring area nearly 8 months later. The plea was to both murder and tampering with evidence, those charges, in exchange for a 30-year sentence. So Kevin Ware, again, the former NFL player, sentenced to 30 years here after admitting to killing his girlfriend.
Well, first to that breaking news, Houston police say that a gunman is in custody after getting into a shootout with police.
This happened on Buxley Street near Sims Brook behind Lawson Middle School. Reporter Sherman DeSalle joining us live from that scene. You spoke with the chief earlier. What did he have to say?
Yeah, good evening. A lot of information still preliminary, but he did tell us what led up to this shooting. Still an active scene. I'm going to get out of the shot, and you can see Josh is showing you that a lot of officers are still on the scene. We are right behind Lawson Middle School that was actually still in session with this when this happened, causing a temporary lockdown. So here's what we know so far. Around 2 p.m., officers were doing surveillance on an unrelated case in a nearby neighborhood when they spotted a black male walking out of a nearby residence with a bullet bulletproof vest, a ballistics helmet on, and carrying a rifle case, and he got into a white Cadillac Escalade. Officers attempted to make a traffic stop, and the Escalade did not fully stop. That led to a chase with officers. After a failed pit maneuver, the suspect then fired an AR-15 rifle toward officers. According to police, officers fired back, shot him twice in the shoulder area. The Escalade crashed, and the gunman was placed in custody.
The police officers doing surveillance thought it odd that someone would come out of a residence with a ballistic helmet, a vest, and they didn't see the rifle at that time. It was just a rifle case. So they out of an abundance of caution, I said, where's this guy going? Obviously, we're here near the Lawson Middle School, so we can't take anything for granted anymore. So that's what raised their curiosity on.
Yeah, so no officers were hurt and the lockdown was lifted, but we're still waiting to hear more about the suspect. The details on where they found the gunman, or the person who was carrying that rifle case, are still limited simply because it includes details of an ongoing, unrelated investigation that officers were working at the time that they spotted this man. So we're still waiting to hear more information. As soon as we get that, we'll let you know. Reporting right behind Lawson Middle School on Buxley, Shermer DeSalle, Fox 26 News.
And new at 6, a Harris County man is accused of posing as a mechanic to steal cars and also tons of cash. Investigators say he took thousands of dollars from customers and never returned their cars. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman spoke with a victim who helped deputies track him down.
Well, behind this locked gate, deputies say a man ran a bogus auto repair scheme. Customers thought they were paying for car repairs, but instead the man allegedly took their money and vanished. This man, Carlos Mireles, allegedly scammed multiple people out of more than $40,000 worth of vehicles and cash. According to these court documents, Carlos told customers he ran an auto business, but victims say they never saw their car again.
It was just a huge scam. He knew what he was doing. He has a history of doing this, and so I'm just glad he's behind bars.
Juan Agosto says he dropped off his Jeep Wrangler here at Carlos' shop along Chippewa Boulevard and paid him, even has this receipt. But months passed, and Juan says he was getting the runaround from Carlos, hearing excuses or no response at all. When he showed up here, the shop was empty and his Jeep was gone.
One day I showed up to his place after he didn't answer none of my phone calls, and everything was just gone. He had moved shops. He had moved shops without telling anybody anything. And that was, that was really upsetting. At that point, I thought, you know what, I lost my Jeep. I'll never see it again.
Juan later learned his car was illegally sold and someone else in Wharton, Texas was driving it.
My immediate thought was, this guy went ahead and stole my car without my permission.
Juan called sheriff deputies, and that tip led to Carlos' arrest. With help from investigators, Juan got his Jeep back. Now, Carlos was charged with felony theft and is expected to appear in court later this week. I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
A 17-year-old high school athlete is dead after a fight between two groups escalated into gunfire, and then an off-duty officer got involved.
This happened earlier this morning in backyard of Cloverleaf area. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman spoke with the boy's family, who's pleading for young people to put the guns down.
What we learned the teen killed was 17-year-old Ashton Levan. He was a junior at the North Shore High School. He played football and ran track. His family says they are devastated.
His baby didn't deserve that. He was such an humble kid, very respectful.
It shocked the family to know that it was him. Great athlete.
These kids need to put these guns down. Put your guns down, y'all, please. It's too much.
Being that young, life hasn't even begun, But yeah, it takes a toll on you.
The family says Ashton was playing video games in their garage when he got a message accusing him of taking someone's phone.
We got a text message, and whoever texted them said they was coming, and they came.
Next thing you know, they heard gunshot.
Around 4 this morning, deputies say they got called to Crosshaven Drive after a fight broke out between two groups. Shots rang out and bullets hit the garage Ashton was in, the front window, and other nearby homes and cars. Now, the shooting went from one scene to actually two scenes. When an off-duty sergeant with Jacinto City Police heard the gunfire, deputies say he shot at two teen boys who jumped his fence and was in his yard along Double Pine Drive. The family says Ashton was taken to the hospital where he died. The Galena Park Independent School District put out this statement saying they have counselors on hand to support students and staff during this tough time. Now, the other teen who was hurt is 16 and expected to live. It's unclear if the officers shot the teens or if they were hit during the initial shootout. Deputies say they are investigating and have 8 people detained. I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.
A man with a long rap sheet is accused of trying to kidnap a girl outside of an apartment complex in North Harris County.
Fox 26's Jillian Hartman learned how the girl escaped and the tips that led deputies to an arrest.
Well, deputies say a felon tried to kidnap a girl right outside the Bella Vita apartments here on Saturday night. According to court documents, the girl was riding her electric scooter around 8 p.m. when she noticed a man following her. He allegedly grabbed her arm, pulled her towards him, and then tried to drag her. She screamed, was able to break free, ran and told her dad, who called 911. Some parents tell me this is terrifying.
That is very scary. You know what I'm saying? We have to really keep our eye out on our kids nowadays.
Deputies tell us witnesses and an anonymous tip helped investigators identify this man, Stanley Dotson. That tip shared a screenshot of Dotson's Facebook page, and he was ID'd in a photo lineup. Dotson was arrested, and neighbors are relieved.
I'm happy he's called. I feel a little more safer for my kids and for the community, and the kids can run around and be safe before the summertime now.
We learned Dotson has a lengthy criminal history. Here's his rap sheet. He was arrested more than 20 times, convicted of robbery. He was actually arrested for indecent exposure a few years ago, but that charge was dismissed. Neighbors are glad he's behind bars.
We have to really just watch out for our kids. My heart goes out to that family. Glad she's safe. But, you know, there's a lot of dangerous people out here, and so we just have to, you know, really keep an eye out.
At last check, Dotson is in custody, faces a felony charge for attempted kidnapping. His bond was set at $100,000, and he is scheduled to be in court next week. I'm Jillian Hartman for Fox 26 News.